All right. A little bit orange over here, it's my fucking screen. And let's still a little bit orange. So we can change that. So today we're going to be. I was just chatting to Kerson just then in a chat, and there we go. Far out. I was chatting to Kerson in a chat with Leon and a couple of others, and we got talking a lot about Mortal Kombat. And one of the things, there's a couple of things I've come up with. I'm going to talk about this for this channel. And the first one for today is the Mortal Kombat 12 story layout. Now, I fucking do not like MK11 story. Don't like MK10 story. I loved MK9 story because it felt like it was a complete sidestep, right? And then it just moved forward, right? So we had the original timeline and this timeline, right? And I was thinking about it, so, well, most other fighting games, what they do is they have like a mini story for every character. They don't have an overarching story. They have just like you choose like Ryu or Ken or whatever, or characters in Soul Calibur or in Tekken, and you'll fight certain specific characters related to that character's storyline, and then you'll get a specific ending. There's no overarching story. It's left up to us to determine or to basically muse about who could have possibly won, right? Because every single Mortal Kombat ending is always about them, winning. And I think it worked better when it was that way. I'm always happy with the idea of Liu Kang being the one. That's fine. I don't need anyone else to be the one. I don't need any progression on the main overarching story. I think in some respects it's kind of made things a lot worse in that regard. But anyway, so let's get into this. So good old Paint Shop Pro, right? Now we're gonna go with my favorite character, which is Scorpion, right? And hang on, I'm gonna show you my idea, right? This is what I think we should do for every single character in the Mortal Kombat, like the next Mortal Kombat game, right? So it doesn't matter if you choose Scorpion or Subby or whatever. This is the way I want it to do, and they kind of did a little bit in MK11. Most other fighting games, I've seen them do it too, where you'll go along a path and then you can choose between one thing or another. But I like this idea, and I want to see if you guys like this too, right? So we're going to do this quick and crude, right? And make it nice and thick. So basically, you choose your character, right? And you have like a little prologue, and then it'll be like, now this is, for example, and this is some of the cool things, and I was talking about this Cabal as well. As Scorpion, you could start off before you come a Hellspawn. As Cabal, you could start off before getting burnt. But imagine you could choose a storyline where that actually never happened. For example, baseline Scorpion here, right? Hanzo Hazashi, right? He gets two choices, okay? Right here, okay? And the first choice might be to fight, right? Quan Chi, right? So I'll put Quan Chi there, okay? And the other choice might be to fight the original Sub-Zero or Baihan, right? Okay, make him dark blue, right? So that's your choices, okay? So the story might be, he's maybe it's, he goes back to the village, he's found his family all dead, right? And then, you go down this path of the village and you come across Quan Chi. You go down this path of the village, you come across Baihan, right? Because as we know, he murdered Baihan, or killed Baihan because he thought Baihan killed his family, right? You get what I'm going with this anyway, right? Now, if he kills Quannas, right? Fucking dead, okay? Then this storyline here, okay, he may continue, like he stays as a human, like he doesn't actually get turned into a spectre, right? Which would be really fucking cool. So then he then has two more choices down here, right? I think I can Gonna have to move my camera. Right. So then down here, he might fight, I don't know. Then he might fight Sub-Zero. Or no, not Sub-Zero. Who could he fight? Maybe Sector. We'll go with Sector. Sextoy. Right? Maybe that's the choice. Right? So he might fight Sector. And then he might fight... who could we go with? I want to say Human Smoke, like it's like tying something in there with Human Smoke, or maybe Cyber Smoke, right? Okay, so I'll make it Cyber Smoke. Okay, so that's your choices. Okay, and then that leads into like the whole sort of like Ling Kuei thing, where, you know, as we saw in the Legacy series, Sub-Zero and Scorpion were friends and allies, right? So it'd be interesting to see like that. And of course over here, if he fought Baihan and then of course defeats him, right? Part of the story could be him turning into the Hellspawn, right? And then part of that tournament was, you know, sort of going into and, you know, hunting down Sub-Zero. But he might fight, you know, someone like, you know, like Raiden. Like maybe Raiden comes to him and says, hey, you're a dickhead. Like in the what was it? The in MK9 storyline, he tried to stop Scorpion, right? Because he saw that, right? So that could be a choice from killing Baihan. And then the other choice, right, could be fuck, who could he go after that? Trying to think who would be a good character you come across and fight. Maybe someone in the Ling Kuei. Maybe no, perhaps maybe someone from the Ling Kuei, because once they've killed Baihan, the Ling Kuei find out about it, and then at that point you could be fighting either a human Cyrax or a cybernetic version of him, right? Okay, and then from there, right, so he's killed Subby, the Baihan, right? That's his next two choices. And then what happens from there, right? You could have, so that, you know, you could either have an end boss at the end of this, right? You could have an end boss at the end of this. So it doesn't matter who it is. I don't know. It could be Shanks, or it doesn't really matter who, right? I'm not the fucking writer. I'm just telling you how you should do it, right? Or you have a couple of extra choices, 4 end bosses for each side of that, right? So you could have, you know, right? So you could have a boss, hang on, a boss there, a boss there, right? And a boss over here and a boss here. And that's only on this, that's only on this timeline here, coming down the left side, right? And then of course it would be the same for the right side. Okay, so every time you defeat a choice, you then have another 2 choices that you can make. And by the time you get to the boss, you would then have, again, it depends if they want to make, like, say, you know, 2 endings per character. So we do the idea of it just being like, you know, just this part here, or you have, you know, and it doesn't matter who you fight here, you know, it both comes down, like, I'll change the color, change the color to green, right? So you could have, like, after like the first 2 choices that you made here, a singular boss, right, that you can come to, or you have the first one, right, where, you know, your first choice is either Quan Chi or Sub-Zero, then you have 2 more choices. You can either fight Cyrax or Raiden over here, or Sector and Cyber Smoke over here, right? And then you have 2 more choices branching out from that, but those 2 other choices are end bosses, right? And that's you know, and that's the end of that character's story. You unlock the ending, you unlock some skins based on the choices that you made, and then when you go back through and start again as Scorpion, right? You might come down the Baihan path and kill Baihan, and then kill Cyrax, and then come down, and so then you unlock more skins for your character. I think that'd be really fucking cool. That's how I would do the story. Don't have a massive overarching story for Mortal Kombat 12. It's crap. I'm sorry, it's just shit. You're spending all this money on voice work and actors and crap, and you could literally just have, you know, just like animated, like prologues and animated like intermission type pieces between each story section, right? And then you get like an animated one at the end. Doesn't have to be like, you know, fucking computer graphics or whatever. Like, I actually like the drawn art style and the endings that we've been getting in the recent MK games. That's what I do, right? Because then what you're doing is you're creating a lot of depth and a lot of nuance and a lot of choice for each character. Cabal starts off as a human, right? He's on the cusp of leaving the Black Dragon. So then, you know, or maybe, you know, maybe the 2 choices are either he is part of the Black Dragon. Actually, I just thought of that. Scorpion could even have like starting choices as well. Like each character could have like, okay, how do you want your characters to start off with? Are they starting off with, is Scorpion's, oh, that'd be really deep. That'd be a lot of fucking detail. I don't know if they'd do that. So Scorpion's story could start off either by him coming back to the village to see his family being killed, or he's in the village, and I don't know how you do it. All right, let's just leave it simple. Let's just leave it simple like this. They have a baseline that they start off with. So Cabal could start off non-charred, not looking like a barbecue, right? Flipped over. He's just there, right? Actually, no, sorry, he's human first, but then depending on the choice that he chooses, right? Whether, like, if he leaves the Black Dragon, you know, or because it started with the Earthrealm invasion, right? That's like the 2 choices. And if he chooses one choice, you know, he doesn't get burned. If he chooses the other one, he eventually gets burned, right? And that's the thing, like, because he ends up with Serena in the end of MK11. That was his ending. So one of those endings could be that. Serena could be corrupted by Quan Chi under, like, you know, mind control, and he fights her, smacks around, beats her up, you know, and then, you know, she wakes up and then it's like, oh, I love you, suck a dick, right? And then she, you know, and then they get married happily ever after, right? But this is the layout I'd love to see. Everything is a choice, right? So you don't have to have it. Like, you could literally have it that. Scorpion can choose between fighting Quan Chi and Baihan, like the choice of going like, okay, I'm this part of the village or that part of the village, and depending on which part of the village I am, is where I'll meet either Baihan, like Sub-Zero, or Quan Chi. Then when I defeat Quan Chi, then I move on to the next part, which would be, you know, I'd get turned into a Hell Spectre, right? And then, oh sorry, no, I don't. I'm still human, so therefore, I don't know. You could tie in something with the fucking Lin Kuei or something. Like maybe Sub-Zero comes to me and says, "I need your help." You know, my friend Smoke they've got this program going on. So then Scorpion helps out Sub-Zero. He goes to the Lin Kuei, you know, and helps, you know, try and free Smoke. If he defeats Sector, he frees Smoke. If he chooses the Cyber Smoke option, then he's already made the choice to, like, it might have been a different way around or something like that. I don't know, you guys figure it out, I'm not a fucking expert, right? And then you get to the blast part where we either have a combined boss, right? Or we have a choice of 2 bosses, depending on each one, you know, whether we defeated Sector or whether we defeated Cyber Smoke. And then we have an end boss to that. Maybe one of the end bosses or 2 of the end bosses could be for Cyber Smoke will be, by that stage, Sub-Zero has been converted. So you either fight Cyber Sub-Zero or you fight Frost, right? Because now they see Scorpion as a threat. Or when you defeat Sector, right? Then you might fight Cyrax, right? And then you might fight Cyber Smoke or normal Smoke, right? as a bot. Who knows? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not the expert, right? But it excites me, like the idea of this. That's what I mean. Like, and this would be what I'd love to see. Every single time you make a choice, you commit to that choice, then you have two more choices. You make a choice, like commit to that choice, and then but it doesn't have to be big. These sorts of things could be finished in like, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes each, right? But it gives replayability. You want to go back and go, oh, I want to go down this path. It's choose your own adventure, choose your own combat, right? You go back and you go, I want to try this path. And every time you play through, you unlock different skins. So you tie the unlocking of skins for your character into this storyline. And that'd be really cool. And then when you bring out expansions, you can bring out expansions like, oh, we're bringing out the ninja expansion. We're going to have some additional choices added in for, the ninjas. So that makes you want to go back and re-explore the story and figure out, oh, okay, all right. So now after this, we can continue on with the Scorpion story or whatever. Don't have a big overarching story. It's fucking shit, right? Make each character the focus of their own story, and then leave it up to us to interpret who we think might win, Mortal Kombat. Because that's how it always used to be. Every single character that played that finished Mortal Kombat, they won their own. They always won. Every single one of them won their own, ending, right? They were the winner, right? And I kind of like it being ambiguous, leaving it up to us to go, oh, but who would really win? Like I said, I'm fine with Liu Kang being the overall winner. I never had a problem with that at all. I actually love it and prefer it, to be honest. But again, imagine a Raiden story, where he has a choice of being the staying good or going down dark Raiden path, right? And with the stuff, and you tie this stuff in with like, what if, certain characters, they go, and depending on where these characters are, they might end up going to the Nether Realm, the Order Realm, the Chaos Realm, Outworld, right? Edenia. Like, you have all of those choices, right? And that'd be really fucking cool. But they're small and they're concise, right? And I think that'd be really awesome, because then there'd actually be a lot more character development and depth within this tree structure, and replayability because of unlocks and the ability to expand upon those storylines down the track. I think that'd be really fucking cool. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think, and catch you next time.